Hello, guys. Hello. How are you? Thank you for being here on a Friday night.
Hey, for me, it's still only Friday afternoon.
Where are you?
Washington State.
Oh, what part?
I even have to explain to people in the state where it is. It's Sunnyside, which is in the south central part of the state, far away from Seattle and the hipsters and the Starbucks. And
The hipsters. I spent some time in Seattle with the hipsters. My sister,
yeah.
But you know what? She lives in one of those remote islands. Whidbey? Whidbey?
Yeah, Whidbey's not a remote island. It's pretty big, actually. But
what I meant by that is that it's beautiful, and it really is beautiful, but it's like very lonely, I thought.
well, then you should come out here to this part of the state where it's even more lonely. But
Oh, is it?
I don't mind, though. It's nice.
Well, some people like that.
Yeah.
I think they lived there for a year, but they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think they really just had a hard time because
I don't have to deal with traffic, and it's affordable. So.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so let's see.
Right,
I really didn't think anybody would show up because it's Friday night.
I need to know more about Canvas. I said I'm taking the opportunity. So
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to keep you long. We're going to get started in 1 minute. I'm not going to start late because I know that well, you know what time it is here. I'm in the East Coast, so it's 7.
It's
7, yeah. And Victoria, can you hear me? Victoria.
Yes, I can. Sorry, I have little kids and they're being very noisy, so I'm just keeping myself muted.
No, that's okay. You know, we have this rule at Proximity that anything that happens after like dinner time, you can have all the kids and all the dogs running around and climbing on you. Like we've had those kind of meetings before.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes it's just what we have to do. So
I understand. So
Mhm.
I appreciate that about Proximity.
Yeah, I mean, my son's 25, but I've seen Elizabeth Jacobson with her little ones just crawling all over her.
Oh yes.
And she just keeps on going.
Thankfully, we're eating dinner, so I'm hiding, but they have been pretty noisy. So.
Oh, how old are your kids?
3 and 1.
3 and 1. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What about? Okay, hold on. What about you? I didn't get your name. Eric.
We have a cat. So
that's where it ended. We have a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Well, my son lives in Denver now, and he's finally got a job. Woohoo! So I'm a free woman. Yay! No, he just finished. Okay. So did you all get to do the pre-assessment for this workshop?
I did.
You did? Okay. So I thought that I had put it on there earlier, but apparently the one that is teaching Canvas didn't save it. So it didn't post until yesterday. I just want to tell you that so that if you make a mistake, it happens to the best of us, right?
Good thing I went on this morning then.
What?
Good thing I went on this morning.
Yeah, no, yesterday I noticed it when Elizabeth asked me to help her with something, and I thought, no, I did this, and apparently I didn't. Okay, so let's just start with, I'm going to start with Eric because you're up there, and then I just want you to tell me, what do you want to learn in terms of, because this Canvas 2.0 is really about creating your own material so that you can, you know, kind of do your own thing and be creative.
Yeah.
So I know that was the question that I asked. What do you want to do, or what have you done?
I've tried a few assignments in Canvas. I want to try, I mean, you know, my students, I won't say they're frustrated, but they get confused sometimes about how do I do this? So I want to come up with something that's pretty simple and straightforward for them. I teach math, if that helps, by the way.
Okay. So you're wanting to create your own kind of like maybe assessment that is more geared to what they're dealing with at that moment or what they need to understand.
Well, not only that, it's like, we're doing this online. What's the point of my then giving my TAs worksheets?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. But
yeah.
What grade is it?
High school.
Oh, it's high school. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So they do worksheets. Okay, well, let's move
Yeah.
on. So how about, is it, I can't, is it Bracy?
Bracy, yes.
Bracy, okay. My vision's not really good, and I cannot make that writing any bigger. So, Bracy, where are you? Where are you living?
Well, I'm originally from Texas. I just recently moved to New Orleans.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So I teach 6th grade and 8th grade math. So I'm math also.
Oh gosh,
Woohoo!
I don't know how good I'm going to do here. I'm going to teach you the basics of creating your material, but I do not.
Yeah, start somewhere.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm
All right,
okay with that.
Joy, are you there, Joy?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, Bracy. You didn't tell me. What do you want to learn? Like, because obviously we can't cover everything, so I kind of just want to stick to like what we really, as a whole, want to do.
Yeah. So I pretty much create my own my own like quizzes for everything. One of my schools, they want me to use, both of my schools want me to use their resources. So I just pretty much stick with multiple choice quizzes because it's the easiest to get graded.
Yeah, self-graded.
Yes. So anything that's fill in the blank, to me is math wise, it's very difficult to grade because if they add an extra space, like it automatically counts it wrong, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so how to be able to make them more accountable for their answers, than just here's your multiple choice, and then it's just a guessing game, you know?
Right.
If I give them 3 times to complete the assignment, then 3 out of 4, they're gonna choose 3 out of the 4 answers so they get it right.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, it's like kind of a double-edged sword because with math you want to show your work, but at the same time you want to be able to have a life outside of creating quizzes and grading quizzes, you know? So, yeah, I can't imagine how difficult that must be because it is part of learning, is showing the work. But at the same time, I always think of like, you know, where are we headed as a society? Like our kids are heading in that direction. Unfortunately, everything they do moving forward is going to be in that format. It's going to be in that multiple choice format, really. Or it's going to be some kind of selection, right? Because, well, I mean, that's just how tests are now. You know, they're multiple choice, and maybe, you know, maybe some are short answer, but for the most part, they're going to be self-graded. At least in world languages. Have you found that as you get into college, is that the case for math, where everything's just like multiple choice, true, false?
I don't know, because so much stuff requires you to show your work. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm not really sure how to facilitate that because potentially every kid could show their work in a different way, right? So you really couldn't come up with this, you know, string of answers.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a little bit impossible to ask them to show their work on the computer because they may not have the ability to write square root of 2 equals, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so it'll be hard for them to type in to show their work.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so I feel like Bracy, you have experience with this already. So because I feel like
A little. I mean, I'm still new. This is my first year with PLI.
right, but you've
too.
created quizzes, you've done that.
Yes.
And so you have too, Eric, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Okay. How about
Yeah.
Joy? Joy, tell me where you're from. Can you hear
Hi
me?
there. I am from Florida
Okay.
and I teach art.
Oh,
So yeah, so that's a good one for being a little more creative.
you guys are
And I
really
want to be able to
challenging me
add,
today.
pardon me?
You're really challenging me today.
I want to be able to add more resources for them.
Okay.
So if they don't get a certain concept, it'd be nice to even put it in the test for them to have a link to go somewhere
Got it.
to look,
Okay. That's what I'm
rather
trying to
than
get.
just guess that second and third time.
Okay. So you want to be able to like maybe embed or just attach some kind of a link so that if they need help with something, they can click here and get
Yes.
additional help maybe. Okay. Got it. And then Victoria, I know your babies are there, but you teach?
No, it's fine.
What do you
Okay,
teach?
so I'm in Texas right now, not really from anywhere really, but I'm in Texas right now. We are I teach 6th grade science, and I'm about to start 7th grade science as well. And for me, I create a lot of things right now, but my current school district, they want me to utilize all of their assessments. And so we're having a hard time figuring out really, the school's just very minimalist, I suppose. Like they only want 2 or 3 grades in their grade book. And so I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how to get the kids to not be confused by every option I give them. Every time I put anything other than an exit ticket in Canvas, they're like so confused as to how to do, sorry, I'm trying to think of what I want to say.
No, that's fine. No, this is giving me a good idea.
Like when I make an activity for them or something where they could fill out like a web quest,
Mm-hmm.
when they go in to fill it out, they have to press submit, and then that opens it up, and that confuses them because they don't want to press submit before they're typing anything.
Right.
And then they go to type it, but they have to go back and forth because everything that's up on top doesn't go into the part where you type. So they can't just like answer it. They'd have to copy and paste it if they don't want to keep scrolling up and down. So I don't know if there's just any way around these tiny little inconveniences that really are huge inconveniences for a 6th grader who
I totally and you know, and the thing is that, you know, we have so many different things going on here. We have core classes where you guys you're mostly creating your own material. That's what I hear from Elizabeth, that you guys do a lot of your own material. Whereas in world languages, we do there's a bunch of us that create the content basically, and then we can add stuff, but it's basically we create the content. And so it's I don't know, I think that you guys have it a lot harder. Plus you're dealing with digits and lines, and how do you do that? So I'm hoping that I can teach you something new, but I think that and then for them to want you to use their resources, what do they give them to you and then you upload it?
Well, right now what's happening is I'm not even getting the resources until I'm supposed to be basically giving it to the kids. So like our test, I gave them a test today. I didn't get it until 2 days ago. And so I didn't know even what they were going to be assessed on.
Wow.
So it's kind of disorganized right now, but it's working out. It's okay. But it's just, that's pretty much how it goes for me, is I get that. And then I try to make sure I cover everything that they need ahead of time. But like the only thing I've heard as an option for things where they have like a physical copy of something is to have them take a picture of it with their Chromebook and upload it as a file. But like a 6th grader trying to do all of that is just really rough.
Well, I can tell you that chaos creates knowledge, I think. I mean, I know it's crazy, but sometimes the more chaos we have, the more we have to figure it out, and then we learn new things. And that's been the case for me, because
figure it out.
I mean, I didn't know anything about Canvas or any of this stuff when I was hired at Proximity. I mean, I was familiar with technology and I taught online, but for me, it's all about like, okay, you might mess it up, but whatever, you'll learn something. And I think that the biggest hindrance we have as educators is that we're scared to press a button because we might screw things up, so I think that as long as you're willing to try things and maybe mess up and just that's going to be innately a part of it, I think you'll find that you'll be learning so much more in the long run. So I'm going to encourage you not to be scared to try things. I mean, having said that, don't go crazy, but you can try things with quizzes and with assignments. You don't have to worry so much about messing up because it's just one little assignment, right? So anyway, moving on. Lynn.
Yes, ma'am.
There's Lynn. Lynn is my editor. Our editor.
Hi.
My editor. So we do a newsletter together, which will come out in November, hopefully.
Yay.
But
Maria, I'm sorry. My husband just came in and said the guy's going to have to cut off my internet.
That's fine. Lynn.
I've got to go.
You can watch the recording. That's fine.
Oh, wait. He said it may not be for 15 minutes yet.
No, what I'm saying is once it cuts
Nice.
Never mind.
Okay.
I'm done. Out of here. Lo siento.
Lo siento. Adios, Lynn.
Adios.
Adios. Okay, guys. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I'm going to show you like how to add a quiz, right, for any class. So, and I kind of feel like you all already know this stuff. So forgive me if I bore you, but it's Canvas 2.0. So it's a little bit more advanced than, you know, the basics of Canvas 1.0. But the assumption for this particular workshop is that you really haven't had a whole lot of experience with creating content, your own content, right? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be working off of a Canvas page because we do have a PowerPoint that we use for this workshop, but for me, it's very difficult to, like, if I want to show you something, how to do something on the PowerPoint, I just can't do it. So I prefer to just work right off of the a Canvas page. Okay, so please let me know if you cannot see. Can everybody see? Let me see. Can you all see my screen?
I can now.
Okay.
I can.
You're froze up, Maria.
Yeah,
Huh?
frozen.
I was about
There
to
you
say,
go.
Well, I was okay. I was
Nope.
so
Frozen
good.
again.
It's frozen.
Yeah, seems like your connection is bad.
All right, hold on. I'm going to turn my video off, which is a no-no, but I'm going to do it because I think it'll help my connection anyway. Okay. And if you all want to do the same, it might help. Let's see. Okay. Am I frozen? Are we
you don't
good?
seem to be.
Okay, good. Okay. So let me.
I don't think you're screen sharing anymore though.
No, I'm not. I'm going to do it
Okay.
now. Yeah. Okay, how about now?
You're good.
It's coming. There it is.
Yeah, you're good.
Is it frozen?
Nope. Seems
No.
like you're
Okay,
fine.
good. Okay. So I just picked a random class because I don't have classes, so I just picked a random class so that we can you know, we can just build something from here. So the first thing that you're going to do, we're going to start with a quiz. We're going to do a quiz. We're going to do a discussion, and then we're just going to do a regular.
I don't hear you. Are you frozen again?
I think she froze again. Yeah.
Am I really?
Not hearing her.
Okay, I hear you.
Hold on.
You're back.
Oh, this is horrible. Can you
I
hear
think
me?
that's what my students have to deal with all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, let me check my internet connection. Hold on.
Yeah, no kidding. My kids tell me all the time, "You're lagging. You're frozen."
You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is okay. So look, I'm going to put the. Could you all see the chat just in case you want to speak?
Yeah. I have the chat
Okay.
up. So.
All right, so just let me know, okay? Don't feel bad about letting me know. But anyway, I am in the boonies. I have a hotspot. It was working great until now. So never mind. It is a good backup. Okay, so if you want to create a quiz for your class, you start down here. You pick a class, any class you want from your dashboard, and then you go to quizzes. And then you start from there. So, and this is going to be recorded. So if you need extra help. Okay, so we might be working really slow today. All right, so there are lots of ways to create a quiz. There's multiple variations of quizzes too. But when I say different ways, it's like you can bring content in from the quiz banks. Are you all familiar with the quiz banks?
Not really.
Okay, so when you create a test, or it's created for you, like in world languages, we create our own content. So we have this ginormous question bank. Sorry, that's what it's called, question bank. And we can actually pull from that question bank to create different assessments. Have you all had any experience with that, with the question banks?
Yes.
I have not.
Okay, so that's something that we may get to, we may not, but I just want you to know that is something. Right? Eric, did I say it right? Oh no, are we frozen again?
Yeah,
I can hear you, but I'm not sure if anyone else can. No, what's going on.
Oh, it is Eric. Okay, no, I thought I said your name wrong. Okay, No, if I don't get to, it's definitely something that I can give you more instruction on. But okay, so if you want to create a quiz, you're going to click on quiz, and you're going to create on plus quiz. Okay, and so this is going to give you the basics of creating the quiz. So you're going to name the quiz. Obviously, this is very, I think it's very user friendly. I mean, basically you just follow the steps exactly as you see it. So we clicked on quiz, and then quiz is to the left, and then we clicked on the plus quiz sign. Okay. Do I need to go back, or are we good?
We're good.
I got it.
We're good. Okay. Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right. So then you're going to name your quiz. We're going to name it Friday quiz. Oh, I didn't capitalize it because it's Friday. Okay. So we're just going to name it Friday quiz. All right. So then you can always, I don't do this part till the end. You all are familiar with this part. This is a part where you actually assign the due date right there. So you can come back to all this part, right? After you finish the quiz, you can decide if you want to shuffle the questions. You can decide if you want to give them multiple chances to take the quiz. All of that you can come back to later. So just name it and then go to questions. And this is where you're going to start creating your quiz. So there's a few ways that you can create a quiz. One is to create the quiz with material that you already have. And that's where you can utilize your question bank, is what it's called, your question groups, your question banks. Sometimes it's overdone, and kids start figuring out that we're pulling from different places. So I don't know, I use it, but not often. So you want to be careful. And then if you use something that you've already used, maybe change one or two words so it doesn't, so that, because the kids are smart, they figure things out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They figure things out. Okay, so we're going to do, if you click on find questions, that will take you to the question banks where you actually can choose words. But if we're going to do just our own quiz, we're going to go there. It always defaults to multiple choice. So that's the way it is. It's always a multiple choice. But if you pull down, you have all these different options. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of this because we'll never get through it. But when we are, when we're done here, I'm going to upload a bunch of user guides that you can use to facilitate this process if you don't know how to do it. So, was it Victoria? You've created many quizzes, right?
I actually haven't created many quizzes. I just make a lot of exit tickets.
We're using polls?
Well, I do a poll for my entrance ticket,
Okay.
or my entrance thing in Zoom, but then I have them do a type it out exit ticket that
And how do you do that?
I just go in and I grade them, but I do it as an activity, and then I just put in the question in the normal space and have them.
Do you do it in Canvas? That's my question.
Yes, on Canvas.
Okay, what do you use? Like, is it an assignment or?
Yeah, I put it in as an assignment.
So you click on assignment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. And
I'm the one that's done quizzes. This Bracy.
Bracy, okay, Bracy. Okay, so what have you used?
You said which one do I use?
Yeah, so I'm showing, can you all see all the ones I'm showing you?
Yes. I typically use multiple choice, true, false.
Okay.
Multiple
Blanks.
Is it multiple drop downs?
Yeah, that's one. Multiple answers.
And I think matching.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think I do. I think I've done multiple answers also. I don't, whatever the ones that require them to type something in, I stay away from those because it just requires too much grading, too much time trying to figure out.
Well, yeah, and also that's where you were talking. Was it you that said that like if there's a space or something,
Yeah.
and that's it wrong? Okay, yeah, okay. So I just wanted to know what you had done. So these are the different options that you have, and basically they're all pretty self-explanatory, except for a few. A few are a little bit more difficult, but we're going to start with this one. Now, what I encourage you to do, for some reason, somebody told me this along the way, is to always add a number next to the question. So it says question, just put 1. and then question 2. Because if you don't, it just says question and there's no order. And it probably doesn't make a difference in terms of the grade, but kids just like to see that. They like to see that order. Okay, so here it says enter your question and multiple answers, then select the correct one. So it even gives you the instructions. So if you want to do a multiple choice quiz, you enter how do you say red in Spanish?
Ooh, I know.
Okay, go Eric, go.
Rojo.
Rojo, so we're going to put rojo here.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. So I just want to make sure that that you all understand, and that, you know, just make sure that I'm not going too fast or whatever. I think it's pretty self-explanatory though. All right, so here you would put, I don't know, azul. What's azul? Café?
It's blue.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then verde.
Green.
Okay. So anyway, you keep doing that. And now the most important thing with any of these, when you're creating a quiz, the most important thing that you have to do is update each question. Because this has happened to me. I don't know if any of you have had this experience where you create this fabulous quiz, took you forever to do, and for some reason, you just think that, oh, I just save at the end and everything's saved. Nope. That's not how it works. So if you don't click update for each one of your questions when you're done doing it, you lose everything. And that's happened to me before. It's not a real, yeah, it's not a real obvious thing because you do it and then at the bottom you click save, right? Save, boom, you're done. But with this, with the quizzes, you have to save after each one. Not save, but update, okay? So then we're gonna go to question 2. Now, the nice thing about these quizzes is that they don't all have to be multiple choice. So within one assessment, you can have essay questions, you can have true, false, right? So you can do, I love matching. I don't know why I love matching. It's kind of a pain to do because it's a lot of work, because you have to fill in a lot of things. But you can create one entire quiz. Like say you're doing vocabulary. You guys do vocabulary, right, in math? Or is that?
Theoretically, I suppose we could, yeah.
Well, but you could do matching. You could do matching anyway.
Yeah.
You could do matching with the answers, right? So question
It doesn't come up often, but sure, we could.
No, is that out of the realm of possibility?
No, I mean it's possible. It just doesn't happen that often is all I'm saying.
Normally you don't have a situation where you have matching with math.
No.
Okay.
Especially in high school.
I've done matching. As a matter of fact, I just did a matching on my test this week where I gave them a whole bunch, like there was like 3 or 4 equations in standard form, and then they had to match it with the correct equation in slope intercept form. Yeah.
I like it.
I have no idea what you said, but I get it. I understand the concept of what you're saying. Yeah, because that's another way you can get away with not grading it, but they also have to think about it, right? I also think that matching is a little bit more challenging than multiple choice because it's like, you know, you have like 20 things on one side and 20 on the other. It's not like it's a question and then 3 choices. Right. So potentially something good. I'm going to show you all something that I do. It might be considered cheating, but if you change one word, it's not. So it's awful. But I just want to show you all what I do sometimes. Like if I want to create like a quiz or something, right? I'll go to Quizlet. Do you all use Quizlet? Anybody?
Yes.
No,
I've never used it.
No.
Okay, Quizlet is, and I'm not really sure how it is for math, but somebody give me a math term. I don't know. Like something that you want to. Mommy.
Now I can't think of any. Duh. Must be Friday night.
Proportional relationships.
There we go.
Is your computer froze? Or are you typing?
Someone's frozen.
Maria, if you're doing something, we can't see it.
I just told her, I just put in the
Okay.
chat.
Ah,
I'm back.
She's back.
I'm back. I was like, why are they ignoring me? Okay, so you can go to Quizlet and you can log in with your Google account. That's the nice part about it. And then if you collaborate with other teachers, you can share materials. This is something you can just spend a whole night just like looking through it, and you'll find all kinds of things. So I have my own account. I've created activity for modules and that kind of thing. But so okay, give me something that I can type in there for math, like I don't know, math something. Did somebody say something earlier?
I
Yeah,
said proportional relationships.
That's a big word.
Ah,
Or
proportional.
like that. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing.
Yeah, we can't see you.
I know, I forgot we got kicked off, huh? Okay.
It's really funny being on this side of it.
I know, and it's ironic because I always tell we always have these teachers that they'll need emergency subs because their internet's down for whatever reason. And so I'm always like, no, you have to get a hotspot. You have to get a hotspot, because there are moments like right now I should not be doing this with a hotspot, but sometimes it happens, you know, and you just have to have a backup plan. So do you all have it? Relationships, is that what you said? Proportional what?
Relationships, yeah.
Okay, let's see something up. So this is what let's just say I want to teach like greetings in Spanish. I just type in greetings, okay? All right, did something come up? Is this about right here?
Yes.
Does that look right?
Ooh.
We're gonna do free. I have there is a purpose to my madness here. Okay, so what I want to show you how to do is how to steal material. No, that's not what I want to show you how to do. I want to show you how to use it.
Creatively collaborate.
To collaborate. Now, see, as a teacher, I've always had this philosophy that we really don't steal from each other. We help each other. Well, why reinvent the wheel, right? So many of these are free, so you don't have to pay for it. So tell me, which one should I click on? Maybe this one? No. Which one is good? I'm trying to do like a matching. No, that's too long. Let's do this one right here.
Yeah.
I'm just randomly picking because the purpose of doing this is to show you how you can use this resource Quizlet, and you can take it into your, you can use it for a quiz. Now, having said that, I know that you all are familiar with, there's a little icon that says Quizlet on there that you can actually embed it into. Do you all know what I'm talking about? There's like a little Quizlet icon. Let me go back there really quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, okay, there it is. See?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, so if you click on that, but what I'm getting ready to show you is completely different, okay? So two different things, but this is an option. You can actually search right here.
Maybe. Is it coming?
I think we lost her again.
Okay, I'm going to switch internet real quick. Sorry about this.
It happens.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch out. Let me see if this helps. If I get disconnected, I'll be right back. Let me see if this works. Okay, are you still there?
Yes.
That might be worse. Is that worse? No, that's worse.
Not worse yet.
Okay.
Maybe it is.
Oh.
Can you see me? Hello?
Hello.
Okay, we're good. Okay. All right, so, so we're going to go back to Quizlet. Okay, are we good? Everybody see it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, I can. I don't
All right,
speak
so
for
what,
everyone.
so what about everybody else? I think they're there. Are they
Hello?
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here still.
Yeah, are we good? Are we good?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
it.
Looks
So let
like
me
it.
just show you this really quick. So when you click on Quizlet when we're at the actual account, okay? It all looks like this. It's always like a set of flashcards like this. They all look the same, okay? So whatever, if it's vocabulary, if it's an activity, it's always laid out in the form of flashcards because the idea is that you can do a flashcard practice. But this is how I use Quizlet. You can go to here and I do export, okay? So I click export.
Ooh.
Okay, what? I didn't
Right.
see what you clicked, so get export.
Is that you click the 3 dots to get to export? Is that it?
I'm gonna go back, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you click on a quiz, no matter what it is, it always defaults to the flashcard setting, you see?
Okay.
There's all these different activities, but flashcard is the default.
It's okay.
So scroll down, you're gonna always see these little, yeah, everybody see it?
Yes.
And then you choose export right there, you see?
Yes.
Okay, so when you click export, then what it does is it creates this content that you can then take. What I do is I actually take it into my when I'm creating a quiz. So I usually do like, because in world language we do a lot of vocabulary, like family vocabulary or questions. So, but I think that it applies to math. I mean, as you saw, there's definitely things that you can find here. So I always do right here, because is that the one? You can like have a tab between, or do I use a comma? No me recuerdo. I think it was that. Okay, so now what I always do is I copy it. You can click that too, I think, but I just highlight it and copy. Are we good there? Everybody
I'm
there?
here.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna copy it, right? And then you're gonna go back to the quiz. Okay. Now this is what I do. This is matching, right? So what I'm gonna do is I just copy all this in here. Okay. I know this is crazy. This is a lot. But now when you create your matching assignment, right? What I do is this. So, okay, so the answer or the question is, on a graph, proportional relationships look like this. That's the whole thing, right? Okay, so then I just go like that, and then I put it here. Look, I am like all about saving time, right? So then I actually take all of them and I copy them here. Does that make sense?
I didn't hear any of that.
You froze.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you again.
It always takes the best
I
time to freeze, doesn't it?
Oh, this is so good. We're doing so good. What? Oh, I apologize. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to create a whole new video and send it out so that you actually, because I think, are you interested in this? Does it feel like it's going to help?
Yes, I love saving time.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Right. So I know it looks like I'm teaching you how to cheat, but I'm really not. Okay. So then you see where the little hyphen is? That's where the separation is. So I just do that. Click. I exit out, and then I put it here, and then I just do it like I do it like I do it all the way down, and then I separate them. You see? And then when you're done. Oops. I guess I didn't copy it. A ratio. Really good at this, see? All right. So then, and then click. Okay. So here, you're just going to go to wherever the hyphen is, which is right here. And then you just boom, and then put it there. Okay. Okay. Do you understand what I'm doing? So what I do is I just like, whatever vocab I need, I just copy paste it there. Now you don't want to leave it here. This is just like my working space, right? And then I just drag it in there. And then you just don't forget to update your question, and it will randomize it. Of course, you don't want to leave extra material here. This is where you put the instructions. You know, match the correct vocabulary with the right math equation or whatever it is you're doing.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
It would be great.
I can't hear. I can't hear. Somebody's got their microphone on, and I can't hear the presenter speaking. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I was struggling to hear.
Okay, so now I have muted all of you, but you can unmute yourselves if you need to, okay? Is that better? Okay. Are we good? Okay. You can just you can unmute yourself if you need to. So basically, that's just a really quick way to create a last-minute quiz. Obviously, I chose one that was like really long. But here, you would not, this is where you would write the instructions, right? So you would write, I don't know, match the
Can you share your screen again?
English. What?
Can you share your screen again?
Yep, I'm going there. Sorry. Okay. So, all right. Can you all see it? So this is where you put your instructions. Match the English term with the Spanish term. I know those are not the instructions, but this is what I normally do. So whatever your instructions are, you just write them there. Okay? And then you make sure you can add more here if you need more. You know, you can just keep adding them. The cool thing about the matching thing is that you can literally do one question and then, you know, have 20 terms, and that's like a quiz. That's a whole quiz. And so it's faster, I think. Just remember to go up here and to change your points, like either 1 point per question or 2 per question, okay? Otherwise, it defaults to 1, okay? We good? Okay. All right, so any questions so far? Let me stop sharing for a minute.
So each of those matching will get 1 point if you just put 1 at the top.
I'm pretty, yeah. So this thing is like, it's really like whatever you want it to be. And I've done that before. And like, I've forgotten to put the point value, and the kids like take a test or a quiz and they're like, really? I got 1 point for that? So no, so you want to make sure that you give it each, like if you have 12 matching, do 12 points or do 24, however you want to do it. Does that make sense? Are we good?
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God. I know. Well, I can promise all of you that I am going to redo this video with the exact same material without lagging. I'm going to go to Starbucks and do it because I really want you to have this, and I apologize for the lag, but it is the nature of the beast sometimes. Okay, so so then you're going to update, don't forget to update your question, all right? Now here, this is where you save it. You want to save your quiz. You can always go back and edit it. I'm going to share with you, sorry. So you want to save your quiz, but I'll go back to present you. But so when you create this content, however you want to do it, we were over here, we were with the questions. So once you're done with your quiz, you've done everything you want to do, make sure your points add up, not add up, but you make sure that you give a reasonable amount of points. So for this one, 1 or 2 points. For this one, you want to have 1 for each, you know, matching 1 or 2. And then you want to click save. I generally don't publish right away until I see a preview of it, because it doesn't really matter, but just in case a kid happens to be on there and they see it published, they might take it. I don't know, you know, probably not, but it could happen. So then you can preview it. You can preview your quiz and you can see what it looks like. Obviously, this quiz is going to look bad because you know, I didn't complete it really. And there's only 2 questions, so I just wanted you to get the idea. So this is what it looks like. How do you say red in Spanish? Here you have the multiple choice content that you brought in from Quizlet, and then here you just choose the right one. So it's a pull down menu for the whole thing, and it randomizes it, okay? Obviously this quiz is not perfect, again, but I just wanted to show you how it works. So make sure you save after each question. You save, you update the questions. At the end, you save the whole quiz, all right? Then you can always go back and edit. You can save it for later. Just go in here and you can add little, you know, different filters. So like maybe you're going to make a survey, not a quiz, so it doesn't count against them. We do that quite a bit. Maybe you want to shuffle your answers. Timed quiz. All of these things are choices that you have. And because I haven't used all of them and most people don't, if you want to do that, I would definitely recommend you try them out. Just try it out. You can always delete it if it doesn't work. All right, and then you're going to assign your due date just like normal, and then make sure that you publish it. Otherwise, the kids can't see it, okay? Questions?
Okay, so I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so go back up. Right, I'm sorry, right kind of in the middle, like with all our setting options.
Yeah, you want me to go to edit?
Yes, right.
Like
so,
here?
Okay. So you have it checked. Let students see their quiz responses. Okay, let students see their quiz responses. It is. Incorrect questions will be marked in student feedback. And then you have it checked, let students see the correct answers. Okay, I do not check that. I mean, like, I always uncheck that. Yeah, but an issue that we came across last week is, and it was me and 2 other teachers at the same campus. We had students, we gave them 2 tries on a test, and the very first try, they were finishing the test in less than a minute. They were making 15s and 20s, and then they were going back and making the answers. Huh? But how? Because we had that unchecked. Like, well, okay, so we had the first one checked. Let students see their quiz responses. We had that checked. Okay. But then where you have it checked, let students see the correct answers, that was not checked. But somehow in less than a minute, they went from a 22 to 100. And I can't figure out how they did it. If we did not have that box checked, how did they get the correct answers? Unless they were collaborating and said, well, I chose A and I got it wrong, and I chose B and I got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then if that's the case, shame on the TA for letting them do it together.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. But that's so, well, again, that again, the TA is responsible for that, but also, I don't know, I've had this happen to me before where the kids would like somehow have the answers and then they would save it on a separate page and they would take it once, they do horrible, but they see the answers. I'm not sure how that's happening, but this is what I always do when I can't figure something out. So I will do the, you all know how to do the student mode? So you can actually see the way, what they see. Are you all familiar with that? Buddy? Okay, so let me just go here because we don't have a whole lot of time left. But you can always go to student view. If you go to student view, you can see the way things work on their end. So, okay, you can do student view like that. So you can see what the quiz may look like from their end. Does that make sense? So you can look at it and say, okay, what does this quiz look like? Play with that. I'm not going to go to it now because there's so many different things you can do. Here's the other thing you can do. You should, if you don't, you might want to request it. You should have a test student. Do you all know what I mean by that?
Yes, I've seen it, but I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, so if you go, okay, I went out of the student view, but let's just say that you wanted to test out a quiz, or I'm just going to go to modules because it's faster, but even the quiz you just made, you want to test it out. So you can be the test student, okay? And you can take a quiz as a test student. So that way you can kind of see what they see. And so something like what you just said, who was it that just said that?
It was Bracy.
About
You're
the
froze
kids
again.
getting all hundreds.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. No, I don't know who it was that said that the students all got hundreds after getting 40s
it was Bracy.
or something. Okay, all right. So what I always do is it's just, if you look at it from a different perspective, you can sometimes figure out what it is they're doing wrong. And many times it's one little check mark. It's just something so minuscule that you don't even, it could have been. But if it's not that, it needs to be addressed, because we cannot have that. Like, we can't, there's a lot of quizzes that the kids take that I could care less if they did it 100 times. But it's a serious, it's plagiarism. You can't do that. You can't, if the kids know they can do that, they're always going to get hundreds and they're never going to study. So why do it, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to the grade book right now. I think is what I clicked on, so that you can see the test student. You should be able to see the test student in your grade book. So what I do sometimes, and this is might take forever because we had this little hiccup in the assignments in world languages, where we separated assignments and they all got loaded into one module. So now it takes forever until the teacher unpublishes the modules. So this is what I'm showing you right now. It's how slow it can be. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that before, like, I want to do question and answer really quick, but when you pull up the grade book, if you click on the grade book, at the bottom it should say test student. Click on that. All the assignments you've assigned are there, and then you can take it as the student, and then you see what they purse right now. Are you all good?
Yeah, you're breaking up and we can't see anything but a frozen screen.
Frozen again?
So,
Okay. Well, this is horrible. I feel very, very bad. Okay. I apologize. Do you all have any questions before we go? You have to unmute yourselves. Don't forget.
I just wanted to know, is there a way of putting questions randomly?
Oh, yeah. So, like, okay, so are you saying, like, if you have a multiple choice, let's just say, one kid will see a certain answer first, the other one will see it the same. Is that what you're talking about?
That way they can't
you can do that,
help each other.
Yeah, you can do that. So when you are done creating your quiz, on the same page where you go to assign the due date, right above that it'll give you the option of shuffling answers. Yeah, can you shuffle? Yeah, it's a shuffling. It's a shuffling.
Can
Yeah.
you shuffle the
You
questions
absolutely
though?
can. Yeah.
Can you
Oh,
shuffle
okay,
the
yeah, but no, there
questions?
is a way. No, you got me. Now I'm starting to think. I'm starting to wonder if no, because I've done that before. Because so hold on. I'm gonna see. Whew. Excuse me. Okay, so
Bless you.
here's how I know that you can do that. Can you hear me? Okay, so here's how I know you can do that, because many times when I used to teach, I would put up the assignment on Canvas and we do it together. I mean on Zoom, and we would do it together. And I remember many times where I would choose like answer B, and the kids would do the same thing, and then they would get like a bad grade. And I'm like, but we did it together. And it was because that quiz, the answers were randomized. So I think it's the randomized, not shuffled. So I know that you can do it. Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay, I think what she's asking though is not answers, like because there is a checkbox that says shuffle answers. I think she's asking, can you shuffle questions?
Okay.
Like your question 1 would be my question
Oh,
5.
Exactly.
And so I just did a meeting with Elizabeth, and she told me the only way to do that is if you build your quiz inside of the quiz banks, and then you go and you add a quiz and you link it to the quiz bank, is how Elizabeth told me to do it. She said then it would shuffle it. Does that make
Eric,
sense?
you're right. Eric said you should ask that in Canvas 3.0. That is something that I have never done. I've never done that. But that makes a lot of sense, because that really would be able to, yeah, you could definitely avoid a lot of this cheating that goes on just by doing that, right? I think that would be great. I know that like in foreign language we like to.
Yeah, what Elizabeth told me, because I was talking to her about the situation we have with these summatives, was to do that,
Okay.
to create it in the quiz bank, and then link the quiz into the quiz bank, and then allow them to only do one question at a time. And if you really wanted to be strict, then lock it after they answer that one question, so they can't go back. If someone says, oh, I just got to it on question 5, well, they can't go back to their question 1 because it's locked. So, she just said it depends on how strict we want to be with it. But
so she's saying for you to link it, so you're linking a quiz to another.
So I'm
creating question banks?
Yeah, basically I'm creating the test in the question bank. And then I go to the plus quiz. And then
and then you pull
and then I create a question group or new question group. However it's tabbed.
Mm-hmm.
And in that I link it to the question bank, and I say choose 15 questions out of this question bank, and it shuffles it then.
I understand what you're saying now. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably
and that
a
3.0
question.
Not difficult to do. It is a 3.0 because it takes more time, but it's not difficult, especially if you already have created the groups. And that's something that's really worth learning how to do, because it saves a lot of time too. I wanted to also show you all how to embed videos and upload like images, but I'm going to have to create another video, because this is just for those people, especially for those people that are going to watch it afterwards, not going to be good. So I'm going to send you all a copy of it, and then I'm going to add like how to embed images, how to embed videos, those kind of things. I don't want to keep you any later on a Friday night. So unless you have questions, anybody have any other questions for me? You can always, I'm going to give you my email. All right, there I am. I'm Hillary. Yes, and I truly apologize. I feel like this was a disaster because of the because of the connection at my parents' house. So lesson learned: never do a workshop from your parents' house or my parents' house. Okay, anybody else? All right. Thank you. Oh yeah, no, I know it's fine. It is the nature of the beast. So, all right, awesome. Well, I'm always available to you. I'm part of the I work with the department heads, even though I'm not in your department. We work very closely together, so I'm always available to help. Please reach out if you need me to work with you. It's always good to have somebody else look at your your quiz or even at the first few times to make sure that it's good. Okay. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Bye.